Shanti, everyone. Welcome to your next normal. I can't imagine that for the past 3.5 or 4 years, we've been doing our online segments. I don't know if you recall when anxiety was so high around the world. We started with Spiritual Vaccine Hour. How many of you used to watch us on Spiritual Vaccine Hour when Sister Gita would come dancing in front of the camera? But we were like this salve, at a time when nobody knew what was going to happen. We thought the pandemic was for 2 weeks, then it went for 1 month, then another month, then 6 months, and then a year, and it just wasn't stopping. And then countries were being affected so massively. It was such a high anxiety time. Our country in the United States was going through a change of administration. The other administration was completely opposite than the one that was in before. I mean, people were just on edge. Now, in the United States, as one of the greatest voices in the world again is on edge. The people in the United States are on edge. They were on edge before the new administration came in, and now there are people who have been going to work every day, have been working for the federal government, and now they're just fired. There are people in the military who've been in positions for 30, 40 years, are just fired. The anxiety of people who have a job, the fear of being fired, or the fear of an employee squealing on them to tell another manager or supervisor that they're talking about certain things in the office, whether it's inclusivity, diversity, whether it's about the administration, or whether it's about their own frustration of the leadership in their company. They are being fired. Fired. Fired up or fired down to burn to ashes. However you want to interpret it, the level of anxiety that people are feeling is out of the roof. I don't think I've ever felt the intensity of the heaviness and the weight of fear as I do now in Washington, D.C. And it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you are on, it is affecting both sides. We all know nothing lasts forever. We all know that. And we all know that when we go through challenges and tribulations, they can leave an indelible mark on the soul, a scar that remains for lifetime after lifetime. What scars am I still carrying from my previous journey? If you believe that the soul never dies and that the soul is simply sitting in this chariot called the body, playing out a part, well, you'll understand when I tell you, you will never die, but you will live through a lot of experiences. And the question is, do you want to live it in fear, in love, in freedom, or in bondage? It's entirely up to you the way you choose to understand what you're going through or to see what somebody that you love is going through. Anxiety is everywhere. Even if you don't have anything to be anxious, some of us are just feeling anxious for no reason because the atmosphere is filled with it now. How do I let go of this anxiety that is a quick kill of the human spirit in terms of my joy, my peace, my wisdom, my clarity, a sense of security? So what if I were to introduce to you the idea that anxiety comes from really an overdue, a lot of accumulation of loss, trauma, disappointment, despair, all of these emotions, little by little. Even if you watch something on television that looked like somebody else got hurt and you feel it, anything that you feel, resistance, hurt, fear, anger, anything of this nature, jealousy, competition, judgment, criticism, You saw it on the news. You saw it in a movie. You saw it on the commercial. You saw something. You saw it in your neighbor, your auntie, your uncle, your husband, your wife, your kids. What? Don't. Any of this, it triggers. It's being recorded in the soul. So then it's subtle, but it's starting to become your nature, to be anxious, to think, I'm not going to get there in time, to think this might happen. It's always the worst. You're never anxious if things are going to be better. Never you'll be anxious. If you're going to win the lottery, you go, I just feel it. I just know I'm going to win the lottery. If you feel that you just invested money and that stock is going to lose because you can sense it slipping, that feeling, loss. So anxiety comes from over a long period of time where you and I, we're not checking what we're feeling along the way. Those pinches, my conscience is biting, but I ignore it. I said something to somebody and I regretted it. Somebody said something to me, looked at me in a particular way. I don't want to see them again. I get anxious when I have to go to see my boss, my spouse, my friend, my mother, my father. I'm carrying the recording of when it didn't feel good before. You see how I carry it even into my present, which creates my future? So what if today we chose how to let go of this anxiety? That I know that I haven't been paying attention to all of these little subtle pinches, these subtle holding backs, these energies that I've been feeling. They're just like robbing me of something. They're taking something from me. It's not working. This is going to happen. Oh, why did they do this? It's all negative thinking. It's all negative, waste, and useless thoughts. So let's do a meditation that will hopefully just guide you in recognizing you can change your thoughts of anxiety into thoughts of wonder. Sit up straight. Take a deep breath with the conviction that you are free of anxiety or anything that you think inside of the soul is taking something from you. It's creating a loss, or it's reliving a trauma that happened in the past. Close your eyes. And it's so important that you realize whatever fear or anxiety that you might be feeling now, it's from the past. It has already happened. It is done. It is over. Think about that. It's very rare, extremely painful and negative occurrences will keep happening to you. And if they are, it's because you're still thinking it. You're still thinking about the worst scenario. You're still carrying the vibration of these thoughts. What if it just might happen again? And you're just not aware that you're recreating the situation because it's now become your nature to live in an anxious state of mind. You're not even aware. But at this moment, as you sit in your own company, I will choose to remind myself these events don't have to occur again in me. And they did what they needed to do, and they changed me. This energy of trying to run from what has happened, and without the soul knowing, if I keep thinking about it, I run right back into it. This is anxiety. I don't want it, but I keep thinking of it. Why? Stop. It's time to let go of that pattern. Go in front of the same face. I want something else from that person, but vibrationally I have the anxiety. They're going to yell at me. They're going to say no. They're going to look at me in that way that disempowers me. You're recreating the reality. That's why you're anxious. Turn it around. It happened. The soul is playing their part. I'm not the same person. I'm God's child. I'm powerful. I'm just as valuable. I'm not going to let people who don't know the depths of my heart keep disempowering me. That's my decision. I am full. The energy of God's love is what's in my heart. That's what I see in my present, and that's what I know will be my future. God's love is in me. I see it, I feel it, and that's my future. The virtues, the powers, the values of the divine, that's in me and present. That's what I'll see in the future. Now at this time, there's no room for anxiety. You can feel it. You're free. How did you do it? You changed your thoughts. You stepped into grace. You stepped into your truth, and you're free. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out and relax. Breathe in again. Breathe out and relax. Breathe in again. Breathe out and relax. Om Shanti. Thank you so much for joining us on today's segment. And we're going to go to the Sister Gita effect and hear what thoughts of vibrations she will offer us today on her incredible intellect of wisdom. Just want to say thanks to Eb, Certified Lady, Hildy. I'd gotten your message and I had responded back to you. Suman Devi, Neha, lovely. Jokes Guru, Lilawati, Wendy, Kailash, Annette, Rashmi, Lily Mitchell, nice to have you back on. Indu, very nice to have you back from India. There's no room for anxiety anymore. There's only room for love. Enjoy Sister Gita effect, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.
How do I use this law of karma? So then, the law of karma, how do I use it? Tell me the way so I will not misuse it. With a little wisdom, you will clearly see there is benefit in everything, even the sting of a bee. You have some account to settle, some outstanding debt. You have to pay it off. You just haven't done it yet. But what if you've sown seeds that reaped bitter fruit? Be kind to yourself, but know your choice was at the root. But whatever you did without knowing that thoughts, words, and deeds were actually sowing. So now, take responsibility for what has come, learn what you must, and put to rest what you've done. No matter what happens to someone else or to you, remember to see it with this wise point of view. You reap what you sow, the soul plants the seeds. The fruit that is reaped depends on the soul's deed. But do not ever think she got what she deserved. No, this is negative, and to you it will be served. Just use this wisdom to maintain your stage, to check your intentions, and be wise like a sage. Do not become upset when something transpires. Settlement will occur. This is required. So have love and mercy for those who sow bad seeds. They will one day experience the fruit of those bad deeds. And if I think ill of them, then I too am doing wrong. The angel laughed. Now we're singing the same song. So always remember and don't ever forget you reap what you sow and you've sown what you get. Om Shanti, be wise.